I mean, I know that they have to.
Well, you want it to be named after statesmen, and
No, I want the Kingsmen, or because the Kingsmen are named after
Knights of the Round,
Knights of the Round Table. I think it would be suitable if the statesmen, their spy code names would be Founding Fathers,
which I would love
which would make sense.
as a U.S. history major.
It's called Kingsman: The Golden Circle. So, and it is directed by Matthew Vaughn.
Thank God.
Uh, let's see here, but Lancelot, Merlin, the Kingsman crew is going to come back. Vinnie
Swedish
Jones,
Princess.
the Swedish princess that eggsy butt fucks at the very end.
That's one way. I guess that's a nice way of putting it. She goes, "We can do it in the butt if you save the world," and he's like, "I'll be right back."
Like, if you save the world, we can do it in the asshole. He's like, "I'll be right back."
And he grabs a machine gun and takes off.
Yeah,
like every man would do if a woman that beautiful said that.
Elton John is going to be in it, as well as Vinnie Jones, but it doesn't say who they're going to be.
Elton John should be the big bad.
Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't think he's ever done anything.
And then Vinnie Jones is his main henchman.
I think that would work out quite well.
I think that would work out amazingly.
I mean, they don't have names, so usually they kind of like to leave out the villains to be kind of like a surprise. But
do you have a synopsis?
Yeah.
Oh, did you say it already?
Yeah, it's when they get destroyed and the world is held hostage. The Kingsman journey leads them to the discovery of an allied spy organization in the U.S.
Okay.
Statesmen. These two elite secret organizations must band together to defeat a common enemy.
And it's fucking Channing Tatum, so this movie is going to be big.
And Jeff Bridges.
I
mean, they have 5. The film's cast includes 5 Oscar winners: Julianne Moore, Halle Berry, Jeff Bridges, Colin Firth, and Elton John. Even though Colin Firth is probably going to be
it's a flashback,
or like a will, like a reading of the will video, maybe. But yeah, expected September 29th, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed it back to a later date.
If it's in post-production, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, we are still very early into 2017. It's
5 months away.
Oh yeah, that should be done by then. I would expect a trailer at least 1-2 months from now.
If it takes that long. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing little, fan shots every now and then where they just kind of do like a little 10-second thing on social media.
Yeah. Like trailer coming soon, stuff like that. But it's what the... Oh, no, never mind. It's really great, and this is Mark Millar, and Mark Millar has written Kick-Ass and
countless fucking things.
Oh, he has Millar World, his own comic book universe. But Chrononauts is going to be a movie too.
I know, but I haven't heard shit about that. You want to Google search that real quick?
I'll see if
Chrononauts is something that our buddy Cody Garnett kind of turned us on to.
It's on IMDb,
and he wrote this, I think, with the express purpose of making it into a film, which Mark Millar is very guilty of. But this whole idea of Chrononauts is 2 guys get sent back to the past for whatever reason, but it ends up being one guy stays and creates an army with modern machines and ends up running the world, and it's the other guy's job to kind of get him back or kill him. And the comic series was great, and I look forward to seeing kind of what they're going to do. That's going to be extreme sci-fi to a certain extent, because we're talking time travel, and once you start talking time travel, you're getting into some elevated air at that point in time.
Dude, okay, so Chrononauts is on IMDb, and they have a section on the app that's more like this, and they have so many of Mark Millar's projects on here, like Nemesis, Superior, Jupiter's Legacy, excuse me.
That's based off Jupiter's Circle?
Or I think it's the first one he did, and then there's Jupiter Circle. Starlight. Basically everything Mark Millar has written is being turned into a movie. And
dude's a bajillionaire businessman.
Oh, Jesus. One thing I've said about Mark Millar, and you can disagree with me, I don't care. I said the way I describe him is, he is good enough to stay relevant in the comic book industry, but he's poor enough that the movies are better than his original works.
It's not false. It's not false.
Not really. I mean, especially looking at Kick-Ass. I haven't read the book Kick-Ass, but you know me. I watch special features, and what they were describing of the comic book compared to the movie, I'm like, oh, that's shitty. I'd like the movie better.
Yeah.
Like the backstory of Big Daddy and Hit Girl.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a bored accountant. Oh, that sucks. But like a framed cop, way better.
Yeah, that turns vigilante.
Yes, way
and
better.
That's the thing. I mean, Mark Millar throws these ideas out there, but he has enough. He can swallow his own pride enough to where he lets people that have other ideas,
like Matthew Vaughn,
run with it.
Yeah, he and Matthew Vaughn.
He's going to get paid either way, and I think Mark Millar knows
right?
that.
He's gonna get.
He's like, I'm going to get paid either fucking way. Do what you want. Here's the idea.
Cash a check, so who cares?
Here's the fucking idea. Create.
He's like, have fun with it.
And I think that's a reason to admire Mark Millar. You don't have to like what he does, but admire the way he does it.
Yeah.
You know, you like Kingsman, the graphic novel. You love the movie, but how do you get from this graphic novel idea to the movie? And that's the magic that happens that no one sees, and that's what goes on behind closed doors between Mark Millar and Matthew Vaughn and whoever writes the screenplays. It happens.
And they do a really brilliant job of it.
And Mark Millar has enough. I don't know. He can swallow his pride enough to even put fucking Matthew Vaughn's name on the front of the book that you lent me.
That's true.
With a picture of the movie, even though the movie is completely different from what I read.
It is, and it's like what I bought at Hastings is like the movie tie-in version. Like, you know how when like there's a book that is published and then has like the regular cover,
mm-hmm.
and then they're gonna turn into a movie. So then they re-release the book with the movie poster on it.
Yep.
It was like that.
It's that, but it happened either way, and I'm sure that Mark Millar could have been like, no.
Yeah, he's like, I just want my name on it. I wrote the thing.
Yeah, don't put that movie cover on shit. But he's going to get paid. And it's not huge production value. It's something that we can all sit back and have. This is like the third time I've watched this movie, and it's the first time in a very long time that I've watched it. And I'm sitting here while I'm watching it going, why don't I own this goddamn thing? Because I would watch this probably monthly.
Yeah, I own it, and I can tell you without a doubt that I have watched it more than 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, so if you're sitting here listening to this, long story short, the graphic novel and the movie are completely different. It's kind of the same premise. It's the same premise. It's the same kind of idea.
But the movie takes what was in the graphic novel and extrapolates on it and just makes its own kind of world. And it's I liked it better. I thought
it was great.
Much more well done than the graphic novel.
And it's been out for a while. So, I mean,
it's been out since like 2014, 15.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of relevant now because obviously we get a movie coming in September and stuff like that, and we have a history on the podcast of doing stuff, several months out in advance, and then kind of retouching on it, once it gets a little bit closer. But I'm sure that once we get that first trailer, we're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're going to be just so happy when we see that.
And this also goes hand in hand with kind of yours and mine's viewpoints on comics now. I think we're both moving away from the superhero book.
Well, the thing with the superheroes is that now it's everywhere. I just feel like I can't escape it. It's all the TV shows. It's all the movies now. And not only are we getting all these Marvel movies, but now we're going to get all these DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, man.
Netflix shows, CW shows, FX shows with Legion now.
Even though Legion was so good.
Yeah.
But the thing with Legion is that it doesn't feel like a superhero show.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I know it's based
but
off
it's still
X-Men.
superpowers and stuff like that,
Yeah, but they're not like, running around in leotards
flying
or anything.
Guy. A dude flying around and, punching stuff really hard. It's not like that. I haven't seen Legion, but I'm assuming it's a lot of mind stuff, right?
It's super, super trippy and stuff that it is very much like psychological, as things getting warped mentally. And I mean, they talk about mutants, but that's not really as big of a deal. I mean, they throw the word mutant around because they can, because it's Fox, it's not Marvel. And it's more about just David Haller and the fact that his whole life he's been led to believe he is schizophrenic. And then someone shows up and says, "You're not schizophrenic. You can literally read people's minds."
Yeah, because he says that he can hear all the voices everywhere or something like that.
And then not only can he read minds, but he's still sick, and they don't know what he's sick with.
Yeah.
And then, and then the show goes on, you learn more, and I don't know. Well, the season's over, so if you don't want to hear this, or if you haven't watched the full season yet, just kind of tune out for a second. They've hinted at Charles Xavier.
Yeah. I think that's kind of everywhere, because it's X's son.
Yeah, it's Professor X's son in the comic books, and I was really curious for a while. I'm like, okay, are they actually going to go that route? And so far, it looks like they are. And even on, I think it was the Graham Norton talk show, it had Dan Stevens and Patrick Stewart on at the same time, and Patrick Stewart was like, "Yeah, I'd love to be a part. I'd love to show up on set."
Well, yeah. Legion. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it's not like... I mean, Patrick Stewart is one of those really cool, humble guys who's like, I'm not afraid to go back to television because everyone knows him as
Picard.
Picard.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Picard. And, he's a big stage actor, big television actor.
He's an artist, man. I mean...
He does whatever he wants to do.
He does voice acting. He's on Family Guy. He doesn't...
Right, like, he's not,
He's like Marvel. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, either way, he's going to get paid.
Patrick Stewart's going to get paid. He's going to get paid.
Who doesn't love to see Patrick Stewart be in something?
Yeah.
So...
Green Room. Wasn't that him?
That was Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, where he plays the bad guy, pretty much.
Yeah, and that was actually... I think that was Anton Yelkin's last movie, too. Poor guy.
Oh... Yeah, that's a giant loss.
That was another 2016 tragedy.
Fucking brakes on a Jeep.
How fucked up is that?
Pinned in between the Jeep and his garage door or something like that?
No, it was like a post or something.
I don't know, but it's just...
Like, because he went, like, he put it in park and then went down to check his mail and then it, like, crushed him in between this post or...
Too young,
column.
Man.
Yeah,
fucking
way
young.
too young.
And especially a tragic way to go like that.
Yes.
But... Yeah. So anyway, we can talk about losses of 2016 later, because we lost a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, man. Superheroes are everywhere, and that's kind of why I've started cutting back on the amount of super books I'm pulling, and I just picked up the first trade of Flintstones, for Christ's sakes. And I'm super stoked to read that.
Like, all the critics everywhere are just raving about this.
I'm so stoked, man.
Which surprised me. I'm like, it's fucking Flintstones.
But it's... Even the Booster Gold crossover that they did, you can see how smart it is.
Huh. Do you remember the writer's name?
For what?
It's Flintstones.
I got it right here, man. I got it right here. Uh-oh, that's me. My bad. Mark Russell.
I'm not familiar with his work that I can think of.
Mark Russell. In Hollywood Reporter on the cover, it says, one of the sharpest social satires around in and out of comics.
That's so funny, though. It's like, what? We need something to satirize modern life. Perfect. Flintstones.
Yeah, stop what you're doing and pick up the Flintstones. It's one of the year's biggest and best surprises, Vox.com.
If you can find
a series that has transformed its titular characters well beyond their original cartoon roots into something completely different, io9.com. GQ said one of the most relevant pieces of art to come out of 2016 is a comic book with the freaking Flintstones. The satire the Flintstones engages is sharp and surprising, but also humane.
That sounds exciting. I do want to read that.
So this is my next thing to read once I get done reading stuff for school.
Yeah. And you still have to read Doctor Strange that I let you know.
I know, it's over there, damn it. I also got to read that book right there about riots in New York City for history. Anyway,
Fine.
I know. So next week, what are we doing, Kaylin?
We are going to be discussing another non-superhero graphic novel, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
And Kaylin has read the first 2, 3?
I've read the first 2. I'm in the middle of the third one.
We're going to watch the movie.
Yeah, we're going to reference the movie because, again, we like to reference or talk about things that are easily accessed.
And easily digestible.
Yes, because not everyone has time to read 6 volumes of a book, but you have 2 hours to spend on a movie.
But you'll be able to interject the little fun stuff that you told me about where Scott Pilgrim is concerned.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, thank you for joining us again on this wonderful Thursday and for this week. Comicboot.com, not thecomicboot.com, but the Comic Boot. Thanks to Maher, Rock Bottom Comics, everybody. Come and find us on Google search. I am James.
I'm Kaylin.
And we will see you guys on Tuesday.